docket today is going to be some fun stuff, right? We got
Yet another podcast of we're gonna actually start with something fun.
Wait, who are you?
I'm Skinny Mario. You're Fat Mario.
AKA Joe Wagner.
Joe Wagner, Chris Rubio. Back here talking about wine, entrepreneurship, and whatever the fuck else. And we're starting with kind of a whatever the fuck else plus wine today.
Yes.
We're gonna start with the wine like hacks and like tricks and just kind of stupid shit that you can do with wine. So, I mean, a lot of this stuff like we've either made up, learned in the process. I mean, there are so many things you can do with wine bottles, the packaging. You know, like making furniture out of like the cages on a champagne cork.
Yep.
Like there's all sorts of random shit you can do. So, they're party tricks, more or less. That's what they are.
Yeah, and it's also like how we grew up. I mean, you know, it's like when the wine was gone, how do we keep ourselves busy till we find more wine?
I mean, and if we're talking about sparkling, should we start with the classic, like, not really a wine hack or a trick? It's kind of a trick. Definitely a party trick. Sabering.
Dude, we're gonna saber right now.
You want to start with sabering? we might as well.
I wish you could see it right now. There's this pretty badass. It's actually a copper cane saber. Look at this thing. That's legit. It looks pretty fancy too. So we're just gonna start off right off the bat by just going
let's make it a party. All right. So first you got to take this foil off completely, and then this is the cage, right? So you want to pull the cage off, and I'll show you a little trick afterwards, what to do with the cage, which I wasn't even thinking we were gonna do today. So pull the cage off. Most important thing here is the bottles have seams, right? So there's a seam here where the glass mold was clamped together. So you want to find that seam. Take a saber. You can take you could do the heel on a high heel shoe. You can use a butter knife. It doesn't matter. Like you can do anything. I don't know where I'm going to shoot this because
I don't. When you're looking at me, it's like moving really fast.
Right over your head.
Like, we didn't plan on this. Like you look like you're going to shoot it at me. You're going to saber this thing in my direction. That's cool though. I'm down.
All right, and you're gonna. So okay, got the seam right here.
Got the seam.
I don't want any casualties.
You're following the seam. Okay.
All right, and so you're gonna follow the seam right up. Right. Don't shake the champagne first. It makes a huge mess. Obviously, you're gonna follow it right up and hit the drip ring of the bottle.
Hit the drip ring.
And with the pressure inside, this should pop off hypothetically. Are you ready?
And how much force are we going with when you're just?
I don't know. Oh, it's a party now.
Oh my gosh.
Next, I think we should go with, this one is like, I actually don't know if this one's true. So what we're going to try to do is, how do you open a bottle of wine if you don't have a corkscrew?
Oh, yeah.
If it's got a cork, okay?
Oh, this is cool.
So people have said that if you just heat the headspace of the bottle of wine, so meaning like the space between the wine and the cork, that it will eventually push the cork out. Now, what I can tell you is true is that if you leave a bottle of wine in the trunk of your car for long enough, the cork will push out. So there's some truth to that. So we're gonna see if just this little bit of headspace right there, and I'm gonna have you do that. But I think what we should do is like kind of heat it, but like on the side, and rotate it.
Yeah.
Like keep on like that.
Okay, wait. So right now, you have a bottle of wine. We took the foil off, so now it's just the cork in the bottle. And this is kind of a cool thing for if you had fire, but you didn't have a corkscrew, right? Like I don't know.
This would be
camping.
Like how a caveman would open a bottle of wine.
You're camping. You realize, oh, I forgot the corkscrew. I brought all this wine. Trying to set up a romantic mood or something, but I have fire. So right now you're just kind of. So where's the placing for this? I was always kind of curious where you're placing that. So you're heating it with the flame.
So what you're trying to do is you're going to heat the glass, and the glass is going to heat.
But you're just below
the air.
The cork,
the air in between the cork.
Okay, it's the air where the air between the wine and the cork.
Yeah.
Is what you're heating up.
we're gonna use all the
With the
fuel in this
flame.
lighter pretty quick, I think.
And he's
And the reason you're doing it with the air is that you don't want to heat the wine. So that's like the concept here.
got it.
Is that you don't want to heat the
Got
wine,
it.
so you're just heating that airspace, and then it should pop it out.
And
This
also,
lighter's getting fucking hot.
that's what I'm also saying. He's legitimate. He's just using one of them those little Bic lighters. So it's not like you brought like your heavy duty like torch flame or anything. So
I know.
this is really if you're desperate.
This is,
So hopefully I think
it's
it'll
like,
work.
what if you just have a
Is your
campfire?
hand getting hot?
No, but I'm gonna have you do this because while you're doing that, I'm gonna do my little champagne cage trick here.
I'm going back.
And for all you people that can't see this, if you're just listening, this is actually a pretty cool party trick, and it also makes a pretty cool keepsake. So I take this lower wire off first, so you just got to unravel it, and then kind of work the way around to get the top wire off of it.
So you're making mouse furniture out of the champagne or sparkling wine, in this case, cork guard, right?
Yeah, so they call it the cage. So the cage is what holds
Thank you.
the cork
Very
in.
professional.
Just take some finagling. I mean, this may not be like a first date thing that you want to do because, like, pretty boring to watch.
We should have probably got some better heat source for this because I've seen this work, but don't you? What do you usually? Don't we use like a high?
Is that even moving?
No,
Doesn't look like it's moving.
but my thumb is losing any bit of feeling.
Well,
I'm not sure.
it's better
if
that it's
hot
losing
anymore.
feeling than for you feeling the heat, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's I guess.
I mean, you don't need your fingers. You're married.
What does that?
I don't know. All right, so here I got the cushion and the seat, right? So it kind of looks like a stool right now. So I'm going to push these in a little bit just to hold the cushion part in there.
If you can see this, let me.
This is gonna
let
be
me
like
see how
a-
far you are on that.
This is going to be like a
Oh
Victorian.
my gosh, this is so cute.
It's going to be like a Victorian era chair.
Oh my gosh, actually that is really cute. I'm serious. I feel like we're always like, I don't know, I'm just like thinking about new businesses we can start. I could totally see this going, like these selling in the Napa Valley, you know? It is. It's looking like a good
Rewrap
chair.
the wire.
I'm still heating the bottle. This does work.
All right, there you go.
We have to.
It's a cute little chair. What do you think? For a mouse?
Yeah, look at that.
A hamster? If
Yeah.
you're Richard Gere and you want to
would-
keep your hamster happy, you can have a chair like that.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, for hamsters or mice, you can make furniture. Those are fun.
All right.
That's a good one. While I'm still
So while you're
I'm
still
still
doing
here.
that, okay.
still holding this up the
Um,
flame. Gosh,
All right, let's see. So I'm gonna jump into. You know what? Let's just give up on that one. This one's not working. All right, and the poor baby burned himself.
that one that does work. We'll get back to that one. Can we get like a flame, like a torch? we need like a flamethrower.
All right, well, because I do want to show. So we're gonna have to open 2 bottles. So I want the corks. So you gotta
Yeah.
open that one.
All right.
And then while you open that one,
We are gonna get back
This
to
is
that.
a hack that we made inside, right? So we've talked about this before. The pull
Yeah.
tab, just making it like
yeah.
super easy. So you just pull this pull tab.
Yep.
Oh, you want me to show the trick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Show the trick.
All right. So if you're having a tough time with the pull tab, you can just wrap your corkscrew around, like the lever of the corkscrew, and just twist, and it gives you a little bit of extra leverage. So if your hands are, a little bit weaker, maybe you're missing fingers, I don't know, that kind of stuff. And then you just go ahead and open it as normal.
Oh, I don't need that. I'm just gonna use this lighter here. Just don't worry about me. Still burning. I can't even touch it though.
Oh, wait, no, I need that one.
Yeah, keep that cork. Okay.
You got that?
So
okay.
what we're gonna get into right now is we're gonna
Don't burn yourself on the glass.
Yeah, we're gonna. Thanks. I almost did.
We have so much shit on our table right now. All right, so
Let's.
what we're going to do, this is a game that Chris and I grew up playing.
Yes.
and it's just something fun to do after a few glasses of wine. And it's an easy challenge. So if you're like us, and you're probably like drinking more than one bottle of wine a night, because you do need 2 corks for this to make it a competition. Or you can just go around the table and be like, whoever gets the fewest stand-ups of the cork has to take a shot of tequila, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So what we do is we just drop it from a height, and you're gonna have to figure this out, and you try to get it to land on its end. Jesus. There?
Yeah, like that.
Like that.
Okay, so yeah, it's finding that right distance of height,
You're too high.
and
2
you're
in a row.
holding the cork
3 in a row.
horizontal, and then you're gonna drop it, and you want it to land vertical, and then you're seeing how many times you can get that out of 10 tries.
Yeah, that's what we typically do. So, and that is a way to do it. So you want to go 10? Ready?
Yeah. So we go 10. So like I'd let him go.
Okay.
The 1, 2. Okay, so. So wait, was that 7?
That was 7 out of 10.
You got 7 out of 10
Yeah.
times.
And then you do this.
Did you practice?
Oh, I missed.
Okay. If you saw that, that's also what people do when they're trying to intimidate you, as they flick their corks
gotta
at your
flick
face.
corks like
but
it's,
usually, if they're badasses, they hit you in your face and they don't miss like he did.
Yeah, that was like, that was like missing a field goal in the Super Bowl right there. All right. Okay, let's see. You got 10.
Just
I'm
so
gonna
you
count
know,
it.
if
Oh,
I
I'm
lose,
sorry,
it's
you got an
because I got a
injury.
blister on my thumb
Oh.
from that heating job that you passed on to me.
You're always the
For the
victim.
bottle.
Always the victim.
All right. 1. Okay, that was.
I'll
just-
keep
I
count,
was-
don't worry.
Okay, you're gonna keep count. Okay, but keep the right count. Okay,
2.
that's just okay. I know what it is. I don't.
3.
Okay.
You're already tied. Oh fuck! Now you fucked. Okay.
Do I?
You go-
Yeah,
keep
but
doing
you always
it. Go
finish.
ahead.
You always finish it through. If you could watch right now, you could see that I also have a faulty cork.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
We're gonna show you that.
Do you want to do the snowflake thing and blame the cork?
Actually, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use the same cork, so you don't have this kind of thing. That's something to remember. Use your, because like, look, give me your cork.
I flicked it at you.
Yeah, well, you should go get it. Because like this cork, look, this one's faulty.
All right, yeah. Let me see.
Let me see. Get you one. Get it one. Okay, you know what? Screw you. He actually just got on the first time, and he flicked it at me. You know what? Anyways, it's a good game. But look, it's a simple game. But like, this is also stuff that like we grew up on. I mean, this is like what we were having like at after the dinner parties or any stuff. Like,
Yeah,
when
you're just sitting there at the table
Yeah.
because we didn't have phones.
yeah.
So we're like, oh, let's watch our parents get drunk and play with corks. That's pretty
what we
much.
used to do. Aren't you glad you're missing out? You're all on your phones.
Yeah,
Grab
they
a
are-
cork.
You are missing out.
And
Kids,
it
man.
drops.
Kids
See if you
nowadays.
get it.
Yeah.
And you know what? And it was viral for a long time. That whole the bottle of water flipping.
That's
It's
right.
like,
Dude,
come
we
on,
were
let's make this viral.
way earlier than that. This
Because
was
this is cool.
we were the OG bottle flip, whatever they call that.
If you're like a bottle of water flipping champion, then you should try the cork game, because that's the real deal.
Yeah, and you got to get the bounce. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
So like that's a good game to do, like when the bottle's empty, and then you can see whoever loses, then they buy the next bottle, or that's something you can do. You can always just play like spin the bottle. I mean, that's a good game. I don't want to wait.
We got the intern back there. Is that who it's pointing at?
No, yeah, everyone knows spin the bottle, but hey, whatever. I mean, it could be fun. It lands on you. It doesn't.
All right, so there's also some like crazy stuff, right? Like putting a cork in the bottle
Oh
and
gosh.
pulling it out.
Okay, yeah.
We're not gonna do that right now.
Oh, you don't want to do that?
No. Do you want to try to do it?
Well, you're going to show me how you do it. It's kind of
No,
like a
I was
prank
going
that
to
you
show one more way of opening a bottle,
do. Oh, with the.
because this, like, I actually had to do this just a couple days ago. So I just have my pruning shears, and then you get like the blunt end of it, and just push it down. Get it in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's all about the twist.
Okay, so.
Oh well, now it's not
Right now,
working.
if you can see-
Ah! Hold up.
Wait, you got it.
Here's the magic.
This is like, oh, yeah, right there. So he just stuck his shears that are uses out in the vineyards for getting the vines and the grapes, and you just stuck part of it into the cork, and you used it to twist it off. So that looks pretty cool. That works.
All right.
That's good.
There you go.
Now,
And then you could take this cork, actually cut it in half at an angle,
yeah, be careful.
and use it as a doorstop.
Yep.
That works too.
And then also you can cut, the piece of a cork in the diagonal way for those wobbly tables.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've seen that. I've also seen you stick them in your nose.
That's a good party trick.
Yeah, just to.
Yeah, so like
bring up the-
you cut it in half and at an angle and like shove it in your nose so it looks like you got two
definitely.
corks
We're
stuck in your
gonna
nose.
definitely pop up a picture.
We'll get a picture of that.
It's gonna be right here.
I'm sure they got it back there.
Well, okay.
All right, I want to show you another trick here.
Okay, what's this one?
Okay, well here, hold the glass.
Okay, what?
No, you hold the glass.
Yeah, I'm holding
pour
a
you
glass.
Okay.
He's gonna pour me a glass of wine, and this is gonna be a trick.
Okay. This
We're
is
gonna get
a
fucked
great
right
trick. Grab it. Okay.
All right. So if you're cat watching, what has happened to me?
So
If you would explain it like how you could be a douche and do this to people.
Yeah, this is like at wine dinners. I love doing this
Yeah.
to people like that are actually there to enjoy the dinner.
Yeah.
And then it's like the challenge, how do you get it out? So we poured like a half a glass of wine
Yeah.
and stuck the bottle in upside down. So you're going to break the tension if you pull it out
Yeah.
and potentially spill it all over yourself.
Yeah. So like
You
you
want me-
said.
you want me to show you?
I know how to do it.
You know how to do this?
Yeah, because you've done this to me before. Okay.
You're
Now I'm gonna
already
show-
not
I'm gonna
doing it
show you.
right.
Well, I'm not pulling it out right now. So if you can see it right now, you're like, oh, I'm gonna pour you a glass of wine. You've put this full bottle just vertical in the person's glass, so they're staring at like a half a glass of wine with this vertical bottle, and it's like if I pull it up, it's just gonna splash all over the place. So what you want to do is you want to tilt your glass, and you want to angle up right,
Yeah, yeah.
right, and it's all gonna be a swift motion like that.
Beautiful,
And
man.
you still have your half a glass of wine, and you look at the person and you say, "Fuck you." No, I mean, can we edit that? I love you.
Fuck you very much. Fuck you very much. All right.
No, hey, dude, that's a good. That's a good.
Nice.
Well, you should do that. You should do that. To your friends, because
Yeah.
that's how you make friends, and that's how you actually learn how to get out of it.
Oh, hey, what about the glass?
Oh
Make
yeah,
some music.
making music. So that's another good one. We have some empty bottles.
Yeah, I got some bottles. You try to get that started because when you're doing this, you lick your finger, hold the bass tight, and then
Look, he's gonna do it right now.
it only works on crystal. It's one of the ways you can tell if you're at a nice restaurant. You spit on your finger and rub the rim of the glass.
Yeah.
All right, so I need some backup because
Oh. So we're doing. We're gonna do some music here. You got some empty bottles on. And we're gonna do some bottle blowing. Would that be? Just so you
Yeah.
know, Joe used to play the trumpet, and he was very good at it. And that's like where he got really good at blowing. And
okay,
you ready?
I need some backup.
Yeah.
I lost the last note. I lost the last note.
Look
All
at
right.
that. The band's back together.
That's it. That's
you
it.
were-
That was the
If you were there for that magic
instrumental.
moment.
Instrumental. Mary had a little lamb.
Nothing like bottle blowing and glass rimming. That makes the best band, and that's what we did.
All right, why don't we talk about some crazy stuff that we've been doing with wax? Because that seems to be like popular. Obviously, this is like a one-off funky dip compared to our regular. But we did this thing we're like waxing your junk, right? A little innuendo there, of course. But
Yeah.
here we got hats. This wax, like I swear, this stuff lasts forever. It just like it doesn't break off, chip off, or anything. So I started doing this with like my tools. Like
Yeah, let me see that.
needed like a new wax coating on my shears. So just dipped them in the wax, and it worked out great. So this is
Yeah,
like,
that's
you know, paraffin-based wax. It's got a soft feel to it. And more recently, we started like making little kind of like art pieces and stuff. I mean,
yeah.
that
We
was
did
I think
this.
that was pretty cool.
We did a full dip on, and this is cool because we're getting into. I mean, we've always been into art and stuff, but really just expressing it and getting crazy with it. So this is gonna be something. This is actually a little teaser, if not to stuff to come. But we're getting into fashion. I dig
Collabing
it.
with fashion
Collabing.
brands, and so
Yeah.
this is actually a pair of this is
Superstars.
Adidas Superstars that had been melted into somewhat of an art piece, and then a bottle of Bell Gloss stuck in there. So
Yeah.
we're gonna keep on screwing around with this idea and having some fun with it. But yeah, this thing
This.
is solid. I mean, this could be a weapon if you like kept it by your door.
Yeah.
Intruder came in. It's like 15 pounds of like waxed shoes and a bottle of wine.
Get you back.
It's gonna break somebody's skull.
I was just thinking. I watch because I'm a crime junkie, so do a lot of crime podcasts and, all those like doc series and everything, basically crime. But that'd be really weird if that was kind of like the murder weapon. Maybe we shouldn't go there.
Yeah, yeah. There's already too much
It
murder
was
in the
killed
world.
with a shoe. A shoe. No, they weren't, but they survived.
All right, so now we're going to be talking about just some of the new stuff. Like, I know you, Chris, have been introduced to most of this stuff, but we're doing Aspen Food and Wine coming up. We're doing our first spirits launch, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Cliche. But I'm going to pour some of that myself real quick.
So I just think it's cool that you got. I feel like you're always open to just starting a new adventure, and so why don't we start with Cliche? What's this all about? And
So good when it hits your lips. Yeah, it's no. So a friend of mine, Dave Finney, he's also a winemaker. He's been making wine. He's the guy that like created The Prisoner and Orin Swift. We always talked about collaborating on something. So like, it came down to like it'd be super cliche if we collaborated on a wine. It's like what else do you expect? And like around during the pandemic or just before the pandemic, we started talking about doing a seltzer, a wine-based seltzer. And the main reason I wanted to get into this was like I truly believe that like there are so many options out there for consumers, especially the young ones, and they're all drinking White Claw. So how do we make like the anti White Claw seltzer that's going to get people thinking about like, okay, I'm at a restaurant and I've been having this white wine or this wine seltzer. Now maybe I'll try a bottle of Sauv Blanc and then like start moving up that ladder of drinking wine. Back in the day, people started with like Bartles and James, right? The wine coolers, and then like moved into like white Zinfandel. And now those people are drinking, $100, $200 bottles of Cabernet from Napa Valley. So you got to start somewhere. And so I had kind of a personal investment in doing a wine-based seltzer that also kind of like spoke to my roots, my family's roots. And so started looking at flavor profiles from there. And so the flavor that I started working on was this Mirabelle plum because my grandfather grew Mirabelle plums to turn into prunes. That was his business. And then we wanted it to have like a little tonic-y bit of like bitterness, like a little like elevated sense. And so we did like a hibiscus tonic to bring some floral into it. And then Dave did lemons and blueberries. He grew up in Southern California where they grew blueberries and also lived part-time in Vermont where they grew blueberries. Lemons in Southern California, blueberries in Vermont. So those were the two flavors we started with. So Cliche just got out on shelves now. My recommendation, my personal favorite, is like over ice. But love the flavor profiles. Love that it's talking about wine. And also I wanted to like challenge the sommelier community because my relationship with somms, right? Like they're it's like a love-hate thing. I mean, like I love that they're out there educating people on wine, but I also hate that they get so caught up in their own palate. It goes back to the critic thing. It's like you're one person. Like you don't need to force people to drink some name or a varietal nobody knows the name of from Croatia. It's like cool. It's fun to experiment, but if you're actually in the service industry and wanting to provide the best level of service, the best wine pairing for whatever they're eating, then get your ego out of it and talk to the people, get to know what they like, and then find something accommodating. So in this case, it's like a seltzer. You want us to put a seltzer on the wine list? It's like, fuck yeah, we want you to put a seltzer on the wine list. Like, there are opportunities for people to be like, I'm a little wined out right now. Maybe I'll start with a seltzer, and then so it kind of has this twofold approach. So yeah, ton of fun to do, and so that's what Dave and I are up to.
I really love the vibe. First of all, I loved going to the website of Cliche,
Yeah,
and it's this whole if when you go visit and you feel the vibe that I'm talking about, it's this they told us not to do it and we did it anyways. We did what we wanted and you did something that was different and you were going to set up but I mean the hard seltzer game has been going up, right? So it's
yeah.
like 5 years ago or something there was probably 10 brands out, really.
It's a huge category.
And now, but where it is now, I think there's something like 150.
Oh yeah, but the total volume too. You're in like the
Yeah.
billions of
Oh,
cases.
when we're talking money.
Well, billions of dollars
Yeah.
for sure. No, it's huge. So it's been taking share from like beer more than anything. But like I can understand it because as we moved into this like kind of more health conscious sort of focus in life,
Yeah.
people are like, I don't want to have a 400, 500 calorie beer like pale ale or whatever microbrew they're drinking, and so they're looking at like this like magic number in seltzers of 100 calories, and so it's like you drink these, you don't feel full, you don't get too drunk, they're very sessionable, and I'm talking seltzers all together, but the seltzer category like there was never a person behind a brand like they're just brands that are made up. I mean, you had the one that was Cacti, which is now defunct, and like when there was a rap, was it Travis Scott that was behind that? I think
Cacti?
Cacti. One of the rappers was behind that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but the stuff tasted like it. Didn't,
I saw Sabina nodding back there. She's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it was Travis Scott. I think so.
It was sour, like it didn't taste good, so they ended up closing up that brand. But like, there's really nobody behind, with a genuine coming from a genuine place. So like that's what Dave and I were trying to do,
Yeah.
with this, and of course like the packaging out there too. It's all like bright and frilly,
Oh,
and so
heck yeah.
we went total opposite and just went like black can, like super like just kind of like darker, this vibe of kind of like mystère, and so that's kind of where we went. So
And would you say that I mean, I don't want to jump ahead to the spirits though too, but the seltzer game, I feel it's a real fun marketing aspect. When we're talking about design stuff like and how they can do that with social media, and I mean, we think we've always said this before that like the spirits and the hard seltzer seem to be having a lot of fun, and when it comes to wine, that's the kind of fun we want to be having, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you jump right in with seltzers.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
spirits.
exactly,
Like,
yeah.
it's their fun categories. Wine, we've been making it fun, but we got to get
Yeah.
more people on the bandwagon of
Totally.
like wine is fun.
Yeah.
Instead, it's like all these people with like their fingers in the air. Wine is not fun. This is sophisticated. Like,
And
get out of the wine world, sommelier.
back to this. But I will say that I think for sure hard seltzer should be finding their place on the list. I mean, you have like kombucha like made it
Yeah.
start going up on lists and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean, so why not? And it's only a matter of time that people.
It's a good
get,
alternative. But yeah, this stuff. These are only 70 calories a can, so like, feel good drinking them. Just like,
Yeah.
if you're worried about being health conscious. Anyways, that's where we're at with Cliche. Take a look at it online.
Yeah.
Search Cliche Seltzer, and you'll be able to get the story. And then jumping into the spirits.
Let's jump in. That's how you do it. It's spirits.
So while this looks like, wow, we just came out with all these. We've been doing this for 8 years. Like, been started up distilling 8 years ago, and finally doing our first release of these 5 products. So we got a brandy, which we call the Spirit of Belle Gloss. It is named Avray, and we're focusing on bringing a classic kind of more cognac style brandy to the mix, and we finish these in Belle Gloss barrels. And then we've got an apple brandy, which this actually started us in spirits. We were doing this thing over in Sonoma, and I wanted to like figure out how to take the history of agriculture in Sonoma and capture it. And so that is dairy, apples, and grapes. And so moving into apples, we started picking apples, champagne yeast fermentation in the winery, and then distilling. And I love the character. I mean, this is like Gravenstein, which is like the Sonoma heirloom apple. So super cool. One of my favorite spirits we've made, but also a bit more obscure. Like not a lot of people are thinking apple brandy when they're thinking brown spirits. But I'd encourage people to get out there, try some Calvados, try some apple brandies. Are pretty damn good. That the name of that one, Bishop's Eden, kind of named after my son, but Bishop means overseer, and then Eden being like the Garden of Eden with the apple, that sort of thing.
I like it.
Avray is in Greek mythology, it's nymphs of the northeast, south, and west winds.
Nymphs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't get it confused with nympho. Not the same thing. Griffin and Grain, we got a rye and a bourbon. I can go into the backstory on all this stuff, but it's going to take like 10 minutes. And then we got Isla Khalifa, which is our single malt. So we're going to have different expressions of these as time goes on. But this is just our start. So just launching this year and super excited about it. But it's a way for us to kind of like, in the world of alcohol, we always think of craft, right? So we always think, how do we best represent in our wines, as an example, how do we best represent the area where it came from, what Mother Nature gave us, the soil, the climate? And with spirits, it's not really any different, but you're literally like trying to take that spirit from the land. So we're kind of, with this, we're doing everything from farming the grain to doing our own fermentations and distilling everything. So it's soup to nuts. And I think that's the best way to get that true expression. So same thing with the wine. We're taking, some grapes and distilling them for brandy. And it turned out to be pretty cool. So fun project.
Soup to nuts. I always like that when you...
Soup to nuts, dude. I love these old phrases. Like,
yeah.
As the crow flies. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
How old are you? Like, dude, they're just sayings. It's as the crow. That means in a straight line, it's going to be this many miles, or you can go, on the roads. And we're talking about vineyards. It's not like, to get to, Eulenloch from here, it's 32 miles on the road. It's like, no, it's actually like 20 miles as the crow flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I love when and I've started doing that too, like some of these old phrases that we grew up on. It's fun to look back at the history of where they actually came from.
There are some good websites for that too.
Yeah.
And it is fun to hear like soup to nuts, that came from like it used to be that you started your meal with soup and you ended with nuts.
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
So that's like,
yeah.
We should talk like sometime about all those old phrases because there are some really good ones.
Yeah, I like all that stuff. Yeah, we'll definitely revisit. I just want to sit with the spirit stuff. Did you want to talk about, a little bit about the distillery? I think that was really interesting too, because I've been down there in Modesto, and it's beautiful. The whole system. That's actually a unique still.
Oh, the still, yeah, the still is
that you.
Well, that was the newer still we put in. That's a head frame, and that thing is like, that's not just a workhorse, but super high quality. There's only a few of them made, and I love that still. But we're also like all of these were done in pot still. So we got like pot still with a brandy head, which kind of like the way that it captures the oils. It's like just a different system on top of the still itself versus having just plates like on a whiskey still. So they do different things. They have different benefits. So depending on the spirit you're making. So we've got our whiskey pot still, brandy pot still, and then our continuous still that you can use, for stripping and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's like they're beautiful pieces of equipment, all copper and shiny. And
yeah, no.
You're like, damn, you guys actually work with this stuff? Yeah, yeah.
It looks hip. Well, so we got spirits, we got hard seltzer. What's next on the horizon? Anything that
I don't know. We'll see where it goes, man. You never know. You never know what inspires you. If you get inspired by something, just do it. Try it.
I don't know. I'm feeling fashion.
You feeling fashion?
That's like a little lead into that.
Right. We were in fashion once.
You did though, right?
That is
you already have experience.
A scandalous world.
You did have experience with swimwear.
Swimwear.
Yeah.
Men's and women's swimwear. Shit, we did like Miami Swim Week. We were actually in Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
Like, it went okay, but like, it's funny. Like, there's like very little integrity in that business. Like, people don't pay their bills. it was like just eye opening. I was like, man, I really like the wine and spirits world because you deal with good, genuine people, and if you like go sideways in this industry, you're done. Like nobody wants to work with you. You get like even a mediocre to bad rep, and it's like you're gone. Everybody just shuts you out. It's like, no, I've heard bad stories about you. Not working with you. In fashion, it's just like they keep hopping around and fucking people over. So happy to get out of that one. All right, so harvest prep. There's a lot that goes into it. What I
Yeah.
gotta say though, overall, is like the emotions of it are still the same as like your first harvest. That's what I find super cool about it. So you're like, you're always like, oh my god, harvest is coming. Like we got to ramp up. It's gonna be crazy. Are we organized enough? Do we know what's going on enough in the vineyards and all that stuff? And then you get your first grapes in, and everything is just like, oh wait, I've done this before. So I'm going to my 23rd harvest, I think, something like that. Yeah, 22nd. No, 22nd. Yeah. But no, I feel like great about it. I mean, first we got a great team, but it went from like back in the day, it was literally just like I'd go out, check a vineyard. If we felt like it was ready to go, I'd call a crew in, and we'd get out there. We'd pick it, bring it to the winery, do a load card, so we had everything like we know how many tons we brought in, and then how many gallons that equated to once the fermentation was done, etc. And now it's like a much more orchestrated event, and it is kind of like a dance. That's the cool thing. So it's like you got somebody that's managing all of the fruit, like as far as when it's coming in. They're out there checking the blocks. We've got much more stringent parameters on what we're doing, and then the organization of like getting when we're bringing it into the winery, when we need the crew to be set up, and when we're crushing. So the lead up to prep now is like making sure that everybody has all the paperwork that they need, because now we want to make sure that whoever is driving that load from say the Las Alturas vineyard up to here, they've got a card, they know what they're hauling, they've got the total, the gross weight, and then they get to the winery, we weigh them in, everything checks out, goes into the system, and then translates to being able to manage our inventories, so we know where everything is at, what was done to it. So it's just much more. It's orchestrated, but much more organized, and I think it makes for a much better end result in wines, right?
Yeah.
It's just where I started with more of like this kind of small family winemaking mentality. Over the years, we've been able to adopt different elements that have made us, I think, just better at what we do.
And I mean, when it's like the lead up to that too. I like, as I think before, I like to see. That's why I wanted more of the wine education on social, pushing to show much of what's happening before what always seemed to be like the big show, right?
Yeah,
Harvest. It was, you always got tons of videos of the picking going down and the crushing, and the excitement of doing all that. But the lead up to it, as far as the shoot thinning, what you're doing for even when you're doing with new vines, it's always great to see what's leading up to that, all the work that's
like
being
on
done.
the growing side, like
Yeah.
that's one of the most important passes, and it happens, I'd say about 2 months before harvest in general, is what we call a green drop, or like a 90% veraison. So veraison is when you start to see your fruit actually ripen. So
Yeah.
sugar accumulation beginning, color in red grapes, so you'll start seeing everything go like to a purple. But there's a period there where it's like a very short period, a couple days, where you've got like the majority of your crop, so call it like 80 to 90% of your crop is all colored up. And then there are some clusters that are delayed. It might be a weak shoot that it's hanging off of. It might have just been, a delayed bloom, but it might be a week to 2 weeks delayed. So we don't want that in our fermenter because it's going to be like underripe mixed with ripe. So we call that our 90% pass. Go through and we drop all the rest of the green. That's our second thinning pass. And so that just gives us like consistency throughout the entire crop. One of the most important like quality driven passes that we do in the vineyard. And then what we when it comes to the winery, I mean it is a madhouse, but like if you prep for it and everything, you get everything like spotless and clean. It's almost like you're just you're like a group of girls going to Vegas, and you get all done up, your makeup, you smell good, you got this hot dress on, just like this
Yeah.
group, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna fucking crush it tonight. We're gonna go be bottle rats and
Okay,
you know, get some free booze. And then the next thing you know, you wake up in the morning, your mascara's all over the place, and you're like, what decisions did I make last night? I'm questioning my life, and it was just insanity. And that's kind of how harvest is. So you get everything prepped and it's beautiful and ready to go, and then you just, you know, madhouse, like fucking ruin it. It's fun.
Your analogies are
I thought it was
visual.
relevant, Chris.
Yeah.
Did it make sense?
That makes it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm
I
trying
was
to
gonna say.
I'm trying to find balance here. Trying to speak
I was
your
also-
language
yeah,
and my language.
Well, I think that's you're like bottle rats, and then there was cellar rats. Is kind of there's terminology of
The cellar rats come in the
Yeah,
cellar,
yeah.
just like the bottle rats
Yeah.
come in the club.
there's there's a terminology there that fits in. But also I was thinking like, you know, now it's great to see that there's a lot of celebration, you know, about bud break, about veraison, what you're talking about, of when you're starting to see that color in the fruit. Mustard season.
Mustard season.
I mean, we really celebrated mustard season this year, right? You
Yeah, well-
you got to.
I mean, not everybody can be mustard,
Yeah,
apparently. So
and there's
I had to be
some people
ketchup.
who do ketchup.
I had to be ketchup.
Oh yeah,
It's not my
Well,
favorite.
let's
Not my
put it-
favorite condiment, but like I was down to do whatever.
we got some skits. Maybe we'll like throw some of those up on.
Yeah,
the,
yeah. We'll,
on
toss
this
one- yeah,
straight. Yeah,
we'll splice one of those in.
We'll splice one of those in to show you how we celebrate mustard season. But the cool thing about that is mustard season is a crazy time of year, and the reason why we're kind of having fun with it, and the skits that we're talking about, where I got in a mustard bottle suit and Joe was ketchup, was kind of like this fun that there's this craze that happens because all over the valley you got this beautiful yellow that's blooming out. People are coming from all over to get those Instagram pics. They're getting in car accidents. Hopefully, we like them to be safe, but it's just getting really aggressive out there just to get that
There's just
in
too
the
mu-
field shot.
There's just too much to
Just
see.
the yellow, you know,
I
like
know, man.
laying, just
The postable
The
the postable
Gotta-
content options are like endless.
drop the thirst pick and the flowers. But the cool thing about that is at the end of mustard season is it all gets grounded up, right? Till
Yeah, so we till it all in, and there's like some minor benefit. So like mustard, they're mustard plants, right?
yep.
And so you can like make mustard gas, right?
Yep.
But like kind of does the same thing as it decomposes, but it really only goes into like the first couple inches of the soil to kill off like nematodes and that sort of thing that may be harmful to vines. But if we could get that deeper, it'd be even better. But it is also a way for us just to give organic matter back to the soil. So we till it up, well, mulch it up first,
Yeah.
and then till it in so that it becomes part of that that system, kind of the soil biome down there.
And it can help like keep pests away, stuff
Yeah.
like that too. Yeah.
But mustard season is fun. It's a beautiful time to come here. That's usually like spring, and then the valley just starts hopping because people want to come up. The sun is out. They just got through winter. They want to taste some wine. They want to see some beautiful stuff, eat some amazing food. Great time to come to wine country is mustard season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after harvest, a cool thing to touch on, which I mean, I think we're going to be having some fun with. We've already had fun with. There'll be stuff coming out, but you know, after you crush all those grapes and stuff, there's tanks to empty, right?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of tanks.
And we shovel
I was
those
gonna s-
out. It is actually
Yeah.
like a great workout. But people will see like we'll pop a video up here, I'm sure, so that we could like see what it looks like to shovel a tank
Yeah,
out.
totally.
And so we'll make competitions out of it and like get in a tank, see how fast you can shovel it out. But the thing that people don't see in the videos is that there's so much CO2 in there. We got to wear a.
We're
there
gonna
it
get,
is right
but we
there.
got it. Thank you, Sabina.
So we got to wear a harness that's connected to a rope, and also an oxygen meter. So if it does like get to too high of a level, because as you're breaking that cap open, all that pumice, more CO2 is coming out.
Yeah.
So we're venting it, but it does get to a point where it's like if you go like beep 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 beep, you got to like run to the door and get your
Yeah.
head out. So he's the champion right there. That guy's the champ.
Yeah.
He's like won the competition like 2 years in a row. I can't even compete anymore because I'm fucking 40. So I don't even try to compete. But there's nothing better than getting in a tank a couple times in during harvest and just shoveling it out and
Hovind, he's the champ.
getting your ass handed to you by the remnants of Mother Nature. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, and so that's a competition we kind of want to bring out and that we have fun with, where we see like who could do it the fastest. And I'm gonna tell you, it takes.
You gonna get in there this year?
Are you challenging me right now?
No, me challenging you.
Yeah. Wait, does that just happen?
You just made it a challenge. Yeah, I'll get in the tank with you.
Are you coming at me, bro?
What, are you still doing Orange Theory? Is
What?
that how you're staying in shape?
Oh man, dude, I'm beyond now.
Do you go there just for the girls wearing Lululemon, or do you go there for the workout? What is it? What's your priority?
I do my own thing now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I've been dabbling in the Peloton. I remember a day actually when there was a certain person, you actually, which was challenging me on Peloton, and then I started just your KJs just couldn't match mine. And
It's funny.
You disappeared. I didn't see you anymore.
It's funny because I went back to your house like right after that, and I noticed that your Peloton was under repair, and it looked like you had like pulled the pedals off, and there was some kind of device that looked like a power drill that had been connected to it, and I was just curious what kind of repairs were needed because it sure looked to me like you were cheating. Yeah?
Okay.
You don't remember that, huh?
What? Well, I do remember that it was a little too easy for me, and I was trying to make adjustments of challenging myself to make it more difficult. Challenge accepted, bruh. You heard it first.
It's on.
All right, this harvest will be very entertaining. But you're going to have to be in your ketchup suit, and then I'm going to have to be in my mustard suit.
All right, if you want to, I mean, yeah, we'll get one last use.
You're bringing it. That's actually good.
All right.
All right. One last thing.
What?
Well,
Go for it.
I was going to say what comes up a lot too. But I think because you always have a positive outlook on this stuff, is when harvest season is coming up and everything, we have Mother Nature to deal with a lot. So it comes out about we've had to. I've been able to experience like the hard work and strength of you and your team with the way the hustle during fires. I mean, you deal with drought. I mean, pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, all those kind of things.
It's a tough couple of years. Fires in 17, 20, 18 also. Pandemic. But no, the team, like, everybody loves working together. And, like, that's a great, we got a great culture. And everybody, sees, I think, what we're doing. They know that they're making a difference in this world of wine. But yeah, when it comes to stuff like fires, like, those are pretty tough to deal with because usually, like, all the power's out. Communications towers are down. We have a generator at the winery, so like I'd just touch base there if I was in the field or something, and then all my texts would download because we have Wi-Fi there, and that's the way we were getting a hold of each other. So it was a tough couple of weeks, but fires are going to continue happening. And I mean we already had one this year in Napa that was decent, more than we even wanted.
Yeah.
But no, we get out there and I know we're maybe in the way, but we get out there and we actually made a rig that'll attach to our flatbed so that we can actually go out and help fight fires, like do some spot fire coverage and whatnot. So, and I think that does help out. Just anything we can do to mitigate it. Most people just evacuate, right?
Yeah.
Air quality is horrible, and it's there's no reason to be here. So we stayed here. Shit, it was like in 2020. I was the only house in my neighborhood that was still here, and found a guy like casing the neighborhood. So like these assholes would come up here and find neighborhoods that were like abandoned due to the fires and break in and steal shit.
That's fun.
And so of course I walk out with a couple guns and he sees me and takes off and I chase him for like 5 miles. Not with my guns, so don't get them confused. That was just more of like a flex. It was like it's like, hey, you're gonna come around these parts. If I see you do some shit, I'm gonna be watching.
Yeah.
And he never came back. But yeah, it was wild. So yeah, people are assholes though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's good that I mean, I see that happen a lot in our community that sticks together. It's like farmers farmers helping other farmers, you know, just protect their land and stuff as much as they can
Yeah.
until you really have to protect your life. But it's a livelihood that's at stake, and you've always kept a positive attitude too, because I know that you had some land that got damaged in
Yeah.
one of these last fires. I mean, you lost.
640 acres. Yeah, it was big.
Yeah, that's
And a few structures. So we're rebuilding it though. That's kind of the, there's always a silver lining, right? Like, yeah, we lost a lot of land, but and structures, but having a clean slate and being able to rebuild that, and thank God we had insurance, and we're gonna build something that was even better. So that's the benefit of it.
the wine caves. I mean, I was
Caves
saying,
are
I
going
was
in.
saying
The
that you're
whole
doing
winery's
stuff
gonna
like
be
that. Yeah.
underground. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really excited. I just think that's it's that motivation, that positive attitude, and just we're all in this together. Attitude, one team, one dream,
One
and
team, one
rise
dream.
above.
All right.
I was gonna end on
Well,
that note.
All right. We are here, two guys.
One bouquet.
All right.
Yeah.
So this week we're going to be doing a little theme on kind of red and white. Got some seasonal stuff as always. So this is going to be our floral arrangement. So we got some hydrangeas, some peonies, some alstroemeria, and some Dusty Miller. Just some filler.
Dusty Miller.
Dusty Miller is the
It
filler.
sounds like a band, dude.
Sounds like a baseball player or something.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. So as always, we got our vessel. Now,
All right.
we want to start with like the highest. What do we want showing the most, right? And that's going to be the peonies. So we don't want to cut too much off of these. I usually put these in last.
Okay.
So I think though today, because they've got so much fill on them, like take a few of these sprigs off here.
Okay.
Like
and,
maybe bring it down to like 2 sprigs each, okay?
and this peony.
Yes.
Now, I was thinking about this when I was looking at this. So this is it's pretty cool. It's got like a red onion color,
Yeah,
like almost like this red purple.
they're really pretty color. And then check
Yeah,
that. Check
and then
that out.
but in the middle you got like the yellow these yellow things. What are
These yellow. But this is like
The
it's like,
middle- in
it's
the
got
middle?
Like it's got like a blood red look to it. Like
Yeah,
they're
those
really
type.
pretty. They're dramatic flowers. So
Okay,
we're gonna start with just having these.
and we're
actually,
trimming.
since I got an extra, now we're gonna trim afterwards. But I want to make sure you
Okay.
get the blooms, like
So we're
2
starting
good
with
blooms on
those.
the outside. Okay, now I'm gonna have you hold this here.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm holding.
And
stuff.
again, I always like to do this in a vase, just
Yep.
so we can get everything the right height. So these guys, the Alstroemeria, we need these to be a little bit shorter. So what I kind of want to do is do this like layered thing. So we're going to go peonies, hydrangeas, Alstroemeria, and then we'll do the Dusty Miller down below. So it's going to
Okay,
kind of
so
go
the
something like that.
Alstroemeria is what I'm holding right here is which kind of white?
That.
What am I holding right here? What is this one?
Are you not paying attention?
I am paying attention. I'm just trying to hold on. Every time you say Dusty Miller, I'm like just in a band or something. Doesn't that sound like we could be rocking out? Okay, sorry. I digress.
Hydrangeas, Chris.
Hydrangeas.
Okay.
That's what I was holding.
Hold that one in there. So we're going to want these like evenly.
Okay, so we got the hydrangeas, which are
taken
white,
about- There you go.
and they're going below
There.
the peonies.
Going right below the peonies. So we're taking like 2 inches off for the
So
height.
it's cool.
And a little more of the foliage because we don't want a lot of foliage. See, now we got a nice little ring of white.
Yep.
Not too much.
Oh, that's looking beautiful.
Now the Alstroemeria, this needs to go down like, I mean, they're going to come out too, so I think I'm going to come back 4 inches. Let's see where that goes.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe even like 6.
The Alstromerias are pretty cool too. It's like I like
Yeah.
the red with a little kind of speckle of these black dashes on the petals.
And remember, always cut at an angle.
Always cut at an angle
Always cut at
because
an
it
angle.
soaks up the water the best, right?
And we're
That way.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to leave a little bit of this foliage here.
Okay.
On these. And
Use
just
that foliage.
intermix them nice and
Intermix.
evenly.
Okay, you stabbed me with that. You didn't? Dude, are you?
Need some more filler over there?
I
Yeah.
need some more filler in my
Right. Move
face.
your left hand.
Do you think I need filler?
You could use some filler.
Really?
Yeah, in your eyebrows.
You know, you know what? Really quick story. See this guy. This
I actually
guy.
think the height of
he
these
gets
is
me.
like perfect.
He once told me that I had no eyebrows, so then I started using his eyebrow serum, and now I have eyebrows. So whatever.
It's called help, man. I was helping you. I know you're self-conscious about your eyebrows.
Not anymore.
Look,
Dude,
now,
that stuff
now they're
really
getting all
works.
bushy like these. I see.
Okay. Okay, so are you just putting Dusty Miller in my face?
Dusty Miller. Okay.
All right, so the Dusty Miller's kind of got like this white, but it's like a, what would you call this? This is like a dusty white. It's a dusty white.
It's a dusty white, Chris. Yeah. And it's probably
So
grown
it's
by the
kinda
Miller
like a
family. I'm not
beige-
sure. So
Yeah.
this is, I mean, what do we name this? Like, here, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna bring the newspaper over because I love using newspaper.
Oh yeah, I like that. He likes to go. So I got that. Now I'm handing it
So
off to you.
first thing we're gonna do now that we got the height all set on these, we're gonna do one fresh cut on everything.
Yeah.
I'll take like an inch, 2 inches off, whatever it might be.
Look at that. Yeah. You got that? Do you need help?
Oh yeah, Chris. He loves help. All right, now
Yeah.
when this thing pops open, it's going to be beautiful in a vase. But since we are going to be delivering it like a gentleman, we're going to do a nice little wrap here.
Now I like the newspaper. I've said this before. You guys may not
I
realize.
like it. Look. It's almost like it's got like the reaction that you hope to get,
Wait,
like
wait.
sitting right there.
That's cool. You can use the pictures to your advantage. But it's like farmer's market, dude. I like that knife.
Oh, he's such a pain in the ass.
Okay, there we go.
And there you have it. I'm going to call it the
Yeah, we always got to name it here.
Dusty Blood.
Dusty Blood.
Yeah, kind of
I
romantic,
mean, that's-
mysterious.
I'm cool with that. I mean, it's like kind of dark, but like the Dusty Blood. Here's your Dusty Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's beautiful. Actually, honestly, if you can't see it, I definitely agree. That's a beautiful bouquet. What do you, with a kiss, the Dusty Blood
Dusty
for any
Blood.
romance.
Nice work. See you all next time.